Testing 1, 2, 3, testing.
Okay, it is February 10th, 2025. We're here for the Common Council meeting for the City of Rhinelander. It is 6 p.m. We're on the second floor of City Hall. Media's been notified. Agenda's been posted. Clerk, please take the roll call.
David Holt.
Here.
Stephen Jopek.
Here.
Luke Kramer.
Here.
Kerry Michalowski.
Here.
Gerald Anderson. Here. Thomas Barnett.
Here.
Bob Luter.
Here.
Leanne Felton.
Here.
Chris Hannes.
Here. We do have quorum. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on to number 4, which is public comment. Do we have any public comment at this time? Not seeing. Did any of the elders have any public comment? I mean, aldermen, sorry. Yeah. Well, with that, I will move on to number 5, which is mayor's comments. I have none besides sorry. Moving on to 6, which is public hearing, none apply for this meeting. Moving on to number 7, which is a presentation by the ethics committee. I will invite Dr. Michael Miller up.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Michael Miller, Chair of the City Ethics Committee, here with my fellow committee members. We've been working over the past year discussing certain ethical training and discussions that we brought one to your attention last year that Steve is still working on for discussion of the relevant statutes to your position and some slice of small town life examples that you might want to consider. Another presentation that we've been working on with the UW Extension Office. We've come up with an idea for serving with integrity, honesty, accountability, and fairness. And the idea is to take a little bit of a deeper look at the culture and the community we have here in Rhinelander, get down to what core values you have that govern how you all interact with your community and with each other, and take a look at the demographics of the area versus what you may think certain demographics are in an area. Just a bit of reflection to kind of bring everybody together and take a deeper look to see if there's, and I'm not implying that there isn't, but see if there's ways we can more effectively and more fairly serve everyone in our community, people we know they're there, people we might not think are present. The general structure of the presentation we have is like a 10-minute introduction to take a look, a list of core values, things you identify with, things that govern how you lead in the community, and then a 25-minute or so discussion of certain cross-sections of the area. The topics that Amber brought up for highlighting were like, take a look at the cultural backgrounds that shape our community, socioeconomics across the city, the generational divides that may or may not exist, educational opportunities, occupational diversity throughout the city, religious and spiritual beliefs held across various sections of the committee, then the community. And that portion of the conversation would be facilitated digitally. We'd have an online interface where the committee could anonymously post what they think about the given topics. To foster the public conversation about it, we can preserve it for record taking, but at the same time, it'll be anonymized, so the council collectively is putting this up there. No one's being singled out for any particular thing that gets discussed. And then a 10-minute wrap-up discussion at the end, bring back what we've brought up in the meeting, things we may have learned, things that were reflected upon, and just go forward with the training. Again, we envision it to be about an hour training. I apologize that Amber, the facilitator from the UW Extension, couldn't be here tonight. If the council likes, I'll be back with her on the 24th to answer further, more specific questions on the training, but I'm here to answer any general questions the council may have at this time.
Mr. Anderson?
I don't know about the scheduling via regular council meeting. I know it has to be a publicly available meeting for city records. If that's the way that everyone involved thinks it's the best to go, I'm sure that could be accommodated, but I haven't put any particular limitations on when I leave that up to the people that have to attend the training to find a time that works best for them.
Do you have an estimated length of time this might take?
We would expect the training to be about 1 hour. The time frame I have is like a 10-minute introduction, icebreaker, core values, 25 to 30 minutes going over the demographic subsets of information, and a 10 to 15-minute wrap-up, putting together things that have come out during the discussion for people to consider. We have it envisioned at about 1 hour.
Well, kind of the same question then for you, council. I mean, I could see a value of having that recorded and in the public's eye from one hand. On the other hand, it could potentially make one of the council meetings pretty long. So what would be your guys' suggestion for that? Mr. Holt?
I think a special workshop meeting, because it sounds like it has to be an open meeting. So, but yeah, adding an hour to a council meeting is probably less desirable.
True. Mr. Barnett?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing as Alderperson Holt. I think a separate special meeting is more appropriate. That way we can focus on that action and that action alone, as opposed to having to worry about going through an agenda afterwards as well. So I think that's a good idea.
If we happen, which it doesn't happen often, to have a relatively short agenda, would you guys be open to combining the two, just from the point if we bring that gentleman in for a different meeting, that's additional cost? So if we happen to have a short agenda, which it hasn't really happened, but I don't know if, Patrick, what you got in your crystal ball, if one's coming soon.
That's honestly up to you. It's your agenda. So, but, I mean, we can make a short agenda. I would say hold a workshop would be the best way. I mean, there's going to be costs involved. So,
Mr. Holt?
Yeah, aside from the length of time, because we're paid to be here, and that's the work that we sign up to do. It's more a matter of focus. That I think that this is a substantial amount of enough of a topic that it should have a dedicated meeting. Okay. It's not about the length of time. I've been here past midnight in my tenure here. So, but one time. But it's more about, I don't want anyone to feel like they need to be rushed through it. If they want to take more time with it, that's all.
So Mr. Barnett?
I was just going to ask if Steve had any coupons. Coupons.
I have coupons, yes.
Okay.
So for Dr. Miller's question, would you like him to come back with Amber next meeting, or do you just want us to start looking at scheduling dates for this event or this activity? Ms. Michalowski?
I think we can just start scheduling.
Okay, so if Austin and Dr. Miller, if you guys could work that out to figure out a day that works for you guys, and
Can
then
I
you
just
could do a poll.
request not a Wednesday?
Sure. So Austin, enjoy. So, enjoy. So, yeah, Austin would be the kind of the one connecting when it's available for you guys versus the committee and the people presenting. So,
Could Austin put out a doodle poll or whatever those things are called?
correct, but he needs to figure out when they're available. And then,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right,
it's,
so we'll get the poll, okay.
yeah, it's
got it.
trying to get 10 people in, well, 15 people all in the room at the same time. So, any,
Amber has pretty good evening availability generally, so I'll work with her to let her know that it's coming, and you get a list of dates and times for you, I'll get a list of time and dates for her, and we'll meet with Austin, figure something out.
was there anything else for Dr. Miller? Oh, did you have anything else for us?
Just to thank you for your time and consideration, and for not making us put in overtime in our committee meetings. Thank you all.
No problem. Thank you guys so much. Moving on to number 8.
And to apologize for the cacophony as we head down the stairs now.
So moving on to number 8, which is proclamations, none apply for this meeting. Moving on to number 9, which is consent agenda. We have the bills and claims, we have the meeting minutes of the regular council meeting from January 27th, and then monthly reports.
Holt, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda, including the bills and claims in the amount of $4,271,829.02.
Kramer, second.
We have a motion and second. Any discussion? Not seeing, clerk, please take the roll call.
Thomas Barnett. Aye. Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Bob Luder. Aye. Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek. Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to number 10, which is ordinance, first and/or second reading. A, be introduction of the first reading of proposed ordinance 2025-2, amending 4.05.12 City of Rhinelander Code. I refer to our city administrator.
Thank you. So this is actually Austin and Steve have been working on this. It just brings our weights and measures ordinance into line with state statute and cleans some things up. Do I have that about right, Austin?
Yep, you have that right. I did meet with Alderperson Anderson earlier today, so there is a couple of Scribner errors that we are to fix in there, but nothing that changes what you see in front of you today. It's just updating our ordinance that hasn't been updated in goodness knows how many years, because every time you look at an ordinance, you find 2 more ordinances to fix. So this is what we're doing.
Well, and it also reflects a change in state law and how we do this. I mean, that's really the big impetus here.
Mr. Holt? Oh, sorry, I thought you were going.
I'll make a motion to approve the first reading and waive the second reading of proposed ordinance 2025-02, an ordinance amending 4.05.12 of the City of Rhinelander Code of Ordinance.
Mikulowski, second.
Okay, so we have a motion second. Any discussion? Mr. Anderson? Oh, if you could just turn your mic on.
I should drop the waiver part of it because I think giving it a second reading will give us time to update a few things in it. Unless you want to do a bunch of little amendments right now. Austin says it doesn't really matter if it's this week or 2 weeks from now.
Right now, the only thing that regarding the time is we are waiting to send out updates to businesses regarding this. We did plan on sending these out after the election next week, but as we've updated both the alcohol and tobacco ordinances and changed the fee schedule, we do want to get that stuff out as soon as possible. I do know with those Scrivener errors, those are things that I can change pretty quickly on there, but again, it is up to council on whether or not we are to waive the second reading, but that is up to you guys.
Mr. Holt?
Yeah, I'd like to go ahead and stick by my original motion, and in terms of Scribner errors, the updates, unless they're changing the substance of what is there, I think we can trust our staff to do their job.
Okay, same for you, Ms. Mikulowski, because I believe you second. You're still good with the second?
I am.
Okay, so we have a motion second. Any other discussion? Not seeing, clerk, please take the roll call. And if you could just repeat the motion one more time.
Motion by Holt to approve first reading and waive second reading of ordinance 2025-02, and Mikulowski second. And you want me to, okay. Carrie Mikulowski,
Aye.
David Holt,
Aye.
Luke Kramer,
Aye.
Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
Gerald Anderson,
Nay.
Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
Leanne Felton,
Aye.
Bob Luder. Aye.
7-1, motion passes. Moving on to 11, which is unfinished business, none do apply. Moving on to 12, introduction of new business. 12A, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2025-23. This would be a Class B liquor license for Dinky Diner. Refer to our city administrator.
Basically, that's it. Dinky Diner's looking to reopen at 130 North Brown. As you may remember, they got a WEDC grant to help with the rehabilitation of that building. So they're looking to reopen. This will be based on their receiving a certificate of occupancy. Isn't that correct, Austin?
Yep, the license will not be issued until they receive their certificate of occupancy.
We think they're getting pretty close here, so no time like the present, I guess.
Kramer, I'll make a motion to accept proposed resolution 2025-23, approving a Class B retail combination liquor license application for the T&R Dinky Diner LLC located at 130 North Brown Street.
Hold second.
Motion second. And just to be clear, since I don't think it was brought up, was there any concerns from city staff at all?
No. Nope.
Nope.
So, okay. We do have a motion and second. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing, clerk, please take the roll call.
Gerald Anderson. Aye. Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Bob Luder. Aye. Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to 12B, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2025-24. This would be agreement with J&M Display for the 4th of July fireworks. I refer to our city administrator.
Basically, at the last meeting, the council, as you remember, approved holding these at West Side. So the difference here will be this year is more aerial shots, next to no ground effects. So normally, because there's lots of people watching Hodag Park, they have the sparks and all the stuff on the ground. This one will be more aerial, high aerial shots. So other than that, pretty much the same cost.
Holt, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-24, approving and accepting a fireworks display agreement with J&M Displays for the 4th of July fireworks display at Westside Park.
Mikulowski, second.
Motion and second. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing it. If I'm not mistaken, didn't we budget $25,000 for this? So it actually came under budget, which doesn't always happen. So not seeing any other discussion. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Bob Luder.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson. Aye. Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to 12C, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2025-25. This is some work to be done on our vac truck.
Sure. So the Vector truck, the pump is failing on it. We need to have it worked on. McQueen is the only certified Vector truck group in Wisconsin. Nobody else can do it. And this is pretty technical. You don't want somebody who just works on pumps from time to time working on it. So consider this pretty much single source. By the time if you went to another state, by the time you paid an employee to drive it all the way out there or had them come here, you'd be paying more than what you're paying here. So I would recommend this be approved. We need that Vector truck. Does everybody know what a Vector truck does? It's basically, think of it, the Vector is like vacuum. It sucks, it can clean out sewers, storm sewers, stuff like that. They can also dig holes with it too, which is kind of neat. They jet water in. So it's one of those vehicles, one of those pieces of equipment that you don't think about a lot, but gets used a lot more than you'd think.
If you ever seen it, it's one of the longest pieces of equipment we own. So it actually takes up like 2.5 garage stalls at the old treatment plant to make it
pretty big.
fit, so.
Holt, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-25, approving the proposal from McQueen for pump repair work on the city's Vector truck for $16,489.51.
Kramer, second.
Okay, motion second, any discussion? Not seeing, clerk, please take the roll call.
Luke Kramer,
Aye.
David Holt,
Aye.
Bob Luder,
Aye.
Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
Leanne Felton, Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to 12D, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2025-26. This is regarding some city employee membership rates for the golf course. Looks like page 73 would be what our golf course manager is recommending from.
So what Keith would like to do is he'd like to offer, as an incentive to buying early membership, because they rely on that revenue coming in, he'd like to offer some free passes. So you buy one in February, you get X amount of free pass. You buy you buy one in March, you get Y amount. It should be a different amount. The idea here is that, Leanne's gonna buy a membership. She's gonna bring somebody with her, and maybe they'll buy a membership too. So that's pretty much the idea. The second part is the 50% off for the golf membership. That's something that historically the city has done for its employees. So basically 50% off of a membership per year.
Kramer, I'll make a motion to accept proposed resolution 2025-26, approving early membership purchase incentives and city employee membership rates for Northwoods Golf Course for 2025.
Luder, second. Okay, we have a motion second. Any discussion on the motion? So the only question I would have is if you could define employee. So someone sitting on, let's say, the ethics committee, or someone sitting
So
on
anybody gets
planning.
paid, anybody gets a W-2 is what I would look at.
W-2?
Yep.
So, any other discussion? Mr. Jopek?
That would make city council eligible for that.
Yep. I believe they have been, from what I understand.
Wouldn't,
didn't take
isn't this gets into ethical? Yeah, blanket policy, so it doesn't apply. Okay. Steve?
Yeah, I researched this before I came today, because when I first read this, it just screamed ethics violation to me. And interesting enough, Milwaukee County's had it forever. Several other communities that have public golf courses, but it's limited only to employees. Okay? So as council members, you're technically not quote-unquote an employee of the city. You receive money from the city, and I receive money from the city, but I'm not a city employee, because it has to get treated as a benefit, as how it's being treated, and it's so as such, you can do it for your employees, but you can't really reduce the rate to yourselves. I know you probably have been doing it in the past, and you probably,
You're saying it's safer to just keep it with a...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're an employee of the city, then it's a discounted rate because you're an employee of the city, and it's a benefit that you offer. It's just like people that own restaurants say, we're gonna give our employees food at a discount, or we're gonna, that's perfectly okay. The question has become, do you find yourselves as city council members as employees? I think if you're going to do that, you're gonna have to say, we're gonna have to, anybody, then I think you get into this, what if they're on the ethics committee, what if they're on the planning commission, what if they're on the, technically, you get into that group.
Then would it be easier just to make it full-time employees of the city of Rhinelander?
Be a whole lot better.
There you go.
Then I don't have to
So,
talk here.
well, I would also define full-time.
30 hours or more is by state statute.
So,
The average 30 hours or more.
so how many employees do we have that are under 30 hours?
I don't know. Honestly, we have generally 2 employees that take advantage of this. So it isn't going
Well,
gangbusters.
and let me clarify too, that anybody that works at the golf course, you can give them, because it's part of their working there, and those are probably part-time employees.
Yeah,
And you could, I mean, again, you could also say recreational, people that work in the rec department, you could give them a benefit, even though they're not full-time, because they're working in that area.
that's pretty much everybody then.
Yeah, Mr. Jopek?
Can we just,
Just say
I like the idea, can we just like save it, clarify, like really dig into that, make it very clear, so that then, you know, again, like the whole thing with the golf course folks, I'd really hate to cut them out because that's their job and that's where they're at, but just clarify who this is, who it affects, who's eligible for it, make it crystal clear.
I think if you just say employees, you might be not including council members. So just employees, anybody who had to go through an interviewing process to get the job. Would that work?
My recommendations were to be approve everything but 4 and bring 4 back at a future council meeting. That way the early bird specials for the general membership, they can move forward on, sell the damn memberships, and then we could figure this out. Because, well, I know one of the people that take advantage is in this room. Yeah, so it's kind of, I don't think that's the crucial part of this activity. 1, 2, and 3 is the crucial part at this point. So, Mr. Anderson?
Move to amend the motion to eliminate the, for now, the part that calls for a 50% discount for employees.
Hold second.
Okay, so you have a motion, second on the amendment. Any discussion on the amendment? Not seeing. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those who oppose, abstain. Amendment is approved. Okay, so now we're going back to the original motion. Any discussion on the original motion? Okay, Austin, if you just want to read what we'd be voting on and then take the roll call.
I was going to jump in for Alderperson Anderson to clarify what he said, because I was halfway through typing it.
Sorry, I don't have the right page in front of me. Which, oh, there it is. Which number was it?
So if you look at page 72, which is the resolution page, we will be taking out the whereas paragraph. Historically practice, a city employees a purchase annual membership 50% discount. I would recommend just removing that paragraph from that resolution.
Yeah, that's, maybe, maybe I should say, let's move to amend it by eliminating that last whereas clause and anything associated with that in the attachments.
So for your amendment, is there a second?
Joe Beck, second.
I had seconded the amendment. Did he make a new one?
I believe he just did.
Yeah.
So Joe Peck seconded the new amendment. Any discussion on that amendment? Not seeing. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those who oppose? Those who abstain? Amendment is approved. Click.
Now, the original motion as amended would be motion by Kramer to approve Resolution 2025-26, except where you are removing the whereas clause with anything associated with that in the attached documents. The second whereas clause.
Okay. So with that, clerk, if you could take the roll call.
David Holt.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Kerry Mikulowski.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Bob Luter.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to E, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2025-27. This is a pay application for the Pelham Lift Station. I believe Mark is here, unless he's hiding. Oh, there he is. Sorry. Mark is here from Town and Country.
Both can be true. I am here and I was hiding. So this is pay request number 6 for August winter for the work done at the lift station at the Pelham Street Lift Station. This is through January 31st. All work is complete. The lift station is functioning, the control panel's been replaced, everything's good to go. Like Patrick said in his report, the only thing left is some punch list items and restoration to be done in the spring. So if you look through the pay request, there's about $7,000 in labor and materials being held. That's for restoration items and the punch list items that they're holding. So the amount of this pay request with 5% retainage still being held is $37,877.35, and we recommend payment in that amount.
Any discussion or questions or motions?
Hold, I'll make a motion to approve proposed resolution 2025-27, approving pay application number 6 from August Winters and Sons for work completed on the Pelham Street Lift Station project for $37,877.35.
Luder, second.
Motion second. Any other discussion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Bob Luder.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to F, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2025-28 regarding some, looks like equipment needed for the water treatment plant. Patrick?
So a little bit on the convoluted side here, you had approved, this board had approved ordering an air actuator valve for the wastewater treatment plant. Kurt Johnson mentioned it in his memo. It finally got here, and it turned out to be the wrong piece of equipment. So Dorner does now have 2 sitting there. So they can sell us those 2. We're going to get credit. So actually, this is only for about $3,000 and some odd dollars is what this is going to be for. But we figured it'd be just better to show you what the total price was. So that's why it's going back. But basically, you're buying 2 for $12,000, and we'll get credit on the other one.
Mr. Holt?
I will make a motion to approve proposal resolution 2025-28, approving the proposal from the Dorner Company for the purchase of 2 air actuators valves for the wastewater treatment plant for $12,554.
Anderson, second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Bob Luder.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to G, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2025-29. This would be approving for a taxi cab application. So it looks like we have a new taxi service wanting to come to town?
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's from Grant Bornbach. Same gentleman, I think, that has Advanced Medical Transport. He's looking to start a cab company in town here. So the clerk nor the police department had any issue as far as I understand. Is that correct? No issues.
And you can see the rates that they included on page 95 of the packet, along with their application.
Mr. Anderson?
How do those rates compare with what Rennie had been charging or whoever else has been doing it?
So one, I don't have that information.
I don't have that information
This
for
would
me.
probably be more of a question for Steve. I don't know if the rates are irrelevant to approving a license or not.
No, the only thing that's relevant is if they have the qualifications. If they have the qualifications to run a taxi service in the community and there's no reason not to grant it, you really are compelled to grant it. They're going to set their rates by whatever the market bears.
I believe the reason we include the rates is in the ordinance. It says they can't change the rates once it's been set. That's what it says.
Yeah, and that's just a public protection
Yep.
concept.
So that's why I included them in.
Mr. Holt?
I will make a motion to approve proposed resolution 2025-29. Sorry, I clicked the button wrong. Approving a taxi cab application for Rhinelander Taxi LLC.
Jopek, second.
Okay, we have a motion second. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Bob Luder.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett. Aye. David Holt.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye. Motion passes. Moving on to H, discuss and/or action refunds for taxi vouchers from runnings. Turn this over to you, Patrick, and I don't know if maybe Wendy too. At some
Yeah,
point.
Wendy, let's see where it goes here, and Wendy, just start warming up in the bullpen there in case I got something. I don't say something you want to hear. So we canceled the contract, or we did not renew the contract with the Running. Running continued to sell vouchers for their cab rides well up into December. I think December 20th was the last time they didn't sell them. And so we've had just a couple of people come in and say, are you going to refund these? And at first we were just saying, well, Running took the money in. We didn't take the cash in. Running did. So Running will be the one to refund them. Kind of had a back and forth, found out that per the state, we're the ones that have to refund it. You don't have to refund it. I'll walk that back. If you decide to refund it, we're the ones that do it. But it's completely up to you folks. So we know from October 1st all the way up to December 20th what were sold, who they were sold to, that kind of thing. But before that, it could be anything. This could be something that you could have some fraud going on if somebody has a nice printer at home and the wherewithal to do something. So the easiest solution here is to not offer a refund on it. It's just to, I've had plenty of, like I said in my report, or the memo, I've had plenty of gift cards in my life, checks that I didn't cash and everything else. It just didn't go. The other thing that makes this interesting is, so when Running took these in, so when they sold them, we see how many they sold. We can see the button, the numbers, everything else. When they took them back, they didn't keep the information on what ones they took back. So you can see them going out, but you can't see them coming back in. So it's going to be, it might be a little difficult to track. How am I doing so far, Wendy?
Very on par.
Okay, so.
The other thing is
that a golf joke?
We don't have the numbers down either. We don't know where their numbers stopped.
Yeah. We can see the booklet numbers, we can see that kind of thing, but that's as far as in a spreadsheet. So I see this as, it's unfortunate. If we go by what they sold, I mean, you're looking at a big cost outlay, 20 grand plus, if every one of them comes back. Now, will every one of them come back? I would doubt it, but I can't tell you. And there's a lot of unknowns here. So I would say the safest play, but council, you do what you want. You call the tune, we play it. So let us know what you'd like to do, and staff would be more than happy to take care of it.
I also wanted to remind you, I don't know if you had a chance to read my report in this council packet, but the shared ride, it's not audited yet, but the local share is calculating to be $75,000 for 2024. And any refunds that you get is just going to add on top of that 75,000. We only budgeted 25,000 for 2024.
And like I said, WisDOT, who ran the program, said you don't have to refund these. That is not something you have to do. It's something if you choose to do.
Mr. Kramer?
Questions for Wendy. On the punch cards, is there anything on there that says that we would be responsible for a refund? Or that the taxi company would refund in case they didn't use the rides?
No, we saw an example of a one-way ticket ride, and it's a business card with the Rhinelander Transit logo on it, a number, and it just says one-way ride.
It's very simple.
Does not have any other explanation.
Mr. Jopek?
This is probably a long shot, but do we have an average, like you said, 20 grand, about, give or take, do we have an average for what that's looking like for an individual? Some of those, like, I'm kind of struggling with this because some of the folks that came in here talking about shared ride, we're talking about fixed income folks that were putting their benefits or that they had grant money, whatever, into making sure that they had these for trips. And so I guess I don't want to be too cavalier and just being like, yeah, well, you're SOL, because like, you know.
If I may, most of these, from what we can tell, were purchased by nonprofits, the county, other things like that. So, yeah, some were purchased by individuals, no doubt. But most of them, I would say the lion's share of the funds were purchased by nonprofits and municipalities.
Which also falls into another issue is if a nonprofit group A purchased them and a civilian comes in trying to redeem them, should we be redeeming it to the nonprofit group, or should we be redeeming it to who brings the ticket in?
In my memo, what I suggested, if you wanted to go that route, was to have only the person that purchased them come back in. But again, that's also going to be a little bit on the weird side, because they didn't take down the full name and the address and everything else. So if Steve came in and bought one, it says who sold it to him, it says how many were sold, and it says Steve. That's all it says. So the record keeping is a bit on the spotty side. I don't know if it's good practice or policy for us to pay for bad record keeping.
Mr. Chopik, is there like a follow-up to your first, just because we had like multiple?
Yeah, I guess my follow-up to that was just, so when they would turn in their cards, when they would use it, was running collecting those cards, so that then they're not walking around with a used card that's been clipped or something. Like, you're actually turning it in and you no longer have physical ownership of it.
I can't tell you for certain. They did not tell us. They did not let us know how that was done or anything like that. I can't tell you for certain. I think that's how they did it, but I can't say 100% that's how it was done.
Okay.
Mr. Anderson?
When it is a part of, if we were to give refunds, does that mean we have to refigure our share under the shared ride program too? That there's some, it would mean going back and revising some of those figures you were talking about?
Yes, that is correct. If we start giving refunds, we are going to have to notify the state of how much the refund was so that they can re-report our revenues for 2024. And it could change the formula, but the way that I looked at it, I think it would just add on to the local share. But it still would need to be reported to the state.
Mr. Barnett?
I understand the concerns about buying the share ride passes and, the service no longer being available. But what it comes down to is this is a nightmare in the making, it sounds like. I talked to Patrick today during our Monday meeting when we talked about the agenda before the council meeting, and just the scenarios that we were talking about, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of money on our part just to even organize it because of the staff that has to get everything together. And not to mention insufficient record keeping by the company itself does not help us at all in this. I agree with Patrick. I have prepaid cards that I paid for, and the business is no longer around, and I can't use them. Anytime you purchase a prepaid anything, you take a risk. And unfortunately, I would say if the company had better record keeping and there was a more on the nose number and a really organized way of turning them in, then I'd be like, great, yeah, let's do that. But we have no idea what anybody purchased. Like you said, a first name. I mean, that's terrible record keeping. And two, it's, you're gonna, not that it's gonna be everybody, but you're gonna get those one or two people that are gonna come in and they're gonna have crumpled up, unused tickets that they've kept in their pocket, and they're gonna pour them on Wendy's desk and say, here, there's a different amount on every one, but, I want my reimbursement, and this stuff they could have bought like 3 years ago. There's all sorts of different nightmare scenarios that could happen with this, so I think it's unfortunate, but I would say that we're just kind of stuck in the situation.
Ms. Michalowski?
Yeah, so working for the county, I know that we issue a number of these cab cards, as well as the managed care organizations also issue a lot of these cab cards for those who are in the poverty level. And that's the majority of the folks that have these punch cards. I know they're not expecting to get paid back. It's already been through their budget. It's already out. So in my opinion, I agree with Tom and Patrick. I think it's, a buyer beware, and the agencies that buy these punch cards are aware of that. They've already done all their accounting. They're not expecting refunds. Therefore, I would like to make a motion to not refund for any taxi cab vouchers from Running Inc.
Anderson, second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Mr. Anderson?
Well, I just wanted to say I started in on this with a lot of sympathy for the people holding these vouchers, because I figure most of them are poor. And the more I hear about it, it just seems utterly too complicated for us to bother with. The poor record keeping on the part of running, so we have really no idea what we're looking at here. And the fact that they kept on selling them for several months when they already knew that we were going to not renew the contract. I just think this is the only way to go.
Mr. Jopek?
And I'm kind of in the same boat, listening to your guys' discussion, and that makes sense. My question then becomes, if Running knew that they were out of the contract and they continued to sell this, what happened to that money for them? If they, like, these vouchers that didn't get used, they were selling knowing that they were not going to be providing a service beyond December 31st. And so I guess I have some ethical concerns about how they were operating and selling tickets on those grounds. I don't know. Just, I guess, raising awareness that I think that's a little jacked up.
So I can tell you how the formula works is when they drive so many hours, we pay them for the hours that they drive as their set rate. I think it was $31.72 per hour. But then we take what we would owe them and we'd subtract off the revenue that they collected, because they're also collecting the rider fares. So the punch cards and the one-way tickets just got added into the revenue that they subtracted off from our invoice. So we paid them less because they collected that money directly. So say we owed them $10 and they collected $4 in shared ride, or in the passenger ride fares and the punch cards total, we would only pay them a check of $6. They're still being made whole for their $10.
Hence the reason why it's a discretion of this body to make that payment, not Running's, because they're just similar to a front desk cashier of a company. They're not holding that money.
We got credit for it.
So, any other discussions on this topic? Okay, clerk, if you could take the roll call.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Bob Luder.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Motion passes. 13, communication, none apply. 14, future agenda items. We have the two on there. Do we want to add golf employee discount on there? Okay, so we add that one on. Anything else anyone wants added? Okay, not seeing. Number 15, our next regular common council meeting will be February 24th, 6 p.m. here at City Hall. It is 6:48, meeting adjourned.